I am not a scientist by any stretch of the imagination. There are a lot of people much more qualified to talk about quantum physics than I am. But the books that I'm reading about quantum physics are helping me understand what I do so much better, so much clearer. And I just wanted to talk with you today a little bit about that. You know, everything in this world is made up of energy. I remember my ninth grade science teacher talking about energy and how everything is made up of energy, how the table you're sitting at is moving atoms and the chair you're sitting on, even though it might feel solid, is moving. And it just didn't make any sense to me. I understood it from a scientific perspective, but it didn't track. It didn't work for me. But as you know, I've gone through life and learned the different things that I've learned, and the emotion code and how the emotion code works, and God and how God works, and how the matrix or the force, whatever you want to call it, all works together. Today, we're going to be diving into how your thoughts, your beliefs, and your focus literally shape your experience of the world. Welcome to the Lemon Balm Coaching Podcast. I'm Melissa, your coach, cheerleader, and maybe even a little bit like that mom who always has a warm hug and the best advice waiting for you. If you're a woman over 40, feeling like life's left you a little lost, aimless, or downright stuck, you're in the right place. This is where your joy, your freedom, and your purpose come back into focus. So grab a cup of something warm, settle in, and let's start creating the next most beautiful chapter of your life together. When we're talking about quantum, we're talking about energy. The whole world is made up of energy. And I distinctly remember my ninth grade science teacher talking about how the table that you're sitting at it feels solid, it looks solid, it can bear your weight, but it is moving energy. The chair you're sitting on feels solid, it supports you, but it is moving. It is constantly moving. So this is quite a while ago. But I remember that. I remember him talking about that, and it didn't make sense to my little brain at the time. The more I've learned, the more I've read through my emotion code certification, I've come to understand it a little bit better. But reading these quantum physics books is making it even more real in my mind and making this world just makes so much more sense. So I want to nerd out for just a second. Like I said, I'm currently reading a quantum physics book here on my Kindle called The Quantum Life. And in this book, he talks about this famous physics experiment called the double-slit experiment. So what these scientists did is they took a wall and they put these two slits in it, and they fired a single photon light at the wall. And behind that wall was a photosensitive wall so that they could see what the light did when they fired it at this first wall. Now, what they found is that when no one was looking, when no one was observing, the particles acted like waves. They did their own thing. They went through both slits. This is a single photon of light. Went through both slits and showed up on the photosensitive wall behind it in all these different patterns. But when someone was watching, this single photon of light went through one or the other of the slits and only hit the wall where the slit was. They tried it with a camera. They put a video camera in the room and turned it on and left the room. Same thing. It went through one slit. When they turned the camera off, it did its own thing again. To our little finite minds that have been stuck in this, if I do this, this will happen, do this so that will happen thought process, it doesn't make any sense. But when no one was observing, when no one was paying attention, the light waves did whatever they wanted to do. They just did their own thing. But as soon as someone watched, the particles changed behavior. They acted like solid matter. They collapsed into one defined outcome. So what does this mean? It means that the act of observing The act of focusing collapses all other possibilities. This is science. This isn't just woo-woo, right? This is science. The act of observing collapsed every other possibility. Conscious focus determines how the world responds. Now, again, I'm not a quantum physicist. It's not like I sit in a laboratory all day and do these experiments, but here's what this means for us in real life, in your life. What you consistently focus on, what you expect to see, is what you will notice, attract, interpret, and ultimately live out. What you expect is what will happen. Back when we were growing up, we called it the self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If you tell a child they're stupid long enough, they will be stupid. It's the same thing. What you expect is what you will see. I say this all the time. Your thoughts matter. Your thoughts are energy. The things you think matter. Your thoughts become your beliefs, and your beliefs ultimately become your identity. So let's talk about the brain a little bit. Your brain is constantly bombarded by billions and billions of bits of information. I'm going to say that again. Your brain is constantly bombarded by billions and billions of bits of information every single second of every single day. Just look at the computer screen that you're watching on. Look at how many different colors there are. This screen isn't solid. This screen is made up of pixels. Like, your brain is making sense of all of this information all the time, but it can't receive every bit of information that is around you, or you'd short circuit. Your brain has to be able to filter these things out and focus on the things that are important to accomplish what needs to be done. And that filtering system is known as priming, and it works on what is called an activation inhibition model. So when your brain is primed to see something, it activates the neural networks that support that thing. If you close your eyes and actually listen for all of the sounds that are going on around you, you can hear a whole lot more than if you're just sitting here and listening to me. Your brain is activating the neural networks that it needs to activate to do what you're asking it to do. And when your brain is primed to see something, those neural networks will support whatever it is that you are priming it to see. And it also inhibits or shuts down the ones that would contradict it. So if I'm trying to focus on all of the things that I can hear, sight is going to be shut down. Taste is going to be shut down. Smell is going to be shut down. I'm only going to hear because that's what I'm telling my brain I want it to do. So what this means is that once you start to believe something, like I'm not safe or nothing will ever work out for me, you will unconsciously filter your experiences to support that belief. And this is how we build walls around our reality. This is how we build echo chambers. Brick by brick, based on what we've been taught, what we've experienced, and the meaning that we give to it. We are meaning-making machines. We take our experiences, we assign meaning to those experiences, and then we build our world view, our belief system around that. Over time, those meanings become our belief system. And those belief systems become the lens through which we interpret every single thing that happens in the world. Not just the things that happen around us, to us. Everything that happens in the world, we filter it through our belief system. And if your lens is, I'm always the one that has to hold everything together, then even when help shows up, your brain might filter that out as unreliable, or they don't mean it. It's not true. If your belief is, I'm too broken to be whole, you will have a hard time seeing the evidence of your healing because your brain has already decided to not be whole. Oh my gosh. One of the things that reading the quantum physics books has really helped me with is helped me understand my faith better. In Matthew chapter 9, after Jesus had entered the house, the blind men came up to him and he asked the blind men, he said to them, do you believe that I am able to heal you? And they said, yes, Lord. Yeah, we believe you're able to heal us. So he touched their eyes and said, according to your faith, it will be done. He didn't touch their eyes and say, bam, you're healed. According to the measure of your belief, it will be done. Jesus didn't ask them, how long have you been blind, or what they had done to deserve healing. He asked them what they believed. So your belief, what you believe in, the things that you believe, the thoughts that you have, these are active. These are active in the quantum field. These are an active spiritual force. Saint John Chrysostom, he's from the first century, said, if you are to change your way of life, you need to change your way of thinking first. That was back in the first century. If you want to change your life, the first thing you have to do is change your way of thinking. And that's confirmed in Romans 12:2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We have to shift how we think if we want anything to be different in our lives. God wired our brains to be malleable and changeable, but we have to partner with that process. He is not just going to come in and force you to change. We have to want to change. So how can you begin living in harmony with the quantum field, in harmony with God, in harmony with the chi or the prana? Well, step one is examine the lens. Like, what belief are you carrying that is filtering your life? Is it a negative belief? Is it one of those beliefs that I talked about earlier? Like, it's always going to be this way. Nothing's ever going to change. Why does this always happen? How come I always fall into these kinds of relationships? What are you believing that you're carrying that is filtering your life? Step two, realigning with the truth that God speaks over you, realigning your thoughts with the quantum field. And then we have to start priming our brains. We have to start priming our brains to support the things that we actually desire. We can use things like breath work, declarations, journaling, healing sessions, meditations. These are actual real neural rewiring tools. We have to renew our minds. Our minds were designed to be malleable and changeable, not stuck in a dogma, a belief system that's keeping you stuck. And we have to do it consistently. It's not a one and done thing. Like, I don't just wake up one day and say, well, this is just how my life is going to be now. It's a daily practice. It's a moment by moment practice. And we have to expect to see it. If I say I want my day to be a certain way, but deep down in my soul, I believe it's going to be different, that's conflicting. I have to believe it and say it over and over, right? This isn't about hoping for things to get better. This is about believing that it's already done. It's already done. It's already real. I already have it. And then walking in that belief. So you were designed with this beautiful capacity to align your mind, body, and spirit. And that's what flow is. We just came out of the flow challenge a couple weeks ago. That's what flow is. Aligning mind, body, and spirit to the frequency of heaven, the frequency of God, the frequency of the quantum field. But it begins with renewing your mind and reprogramming your focus. We have to prime our brain to see what we want it to see. So here's my invitation for you. If your beliefs are no longer serving you, you know you want things to be different. If your thoughts are stuck on replay, I can't get out of this on my own. If your life feels like it's not matching the desires of your heart, if you're ready to put on a new set of glasses that help you view the world in a different way, I want to support you through that. And quantum physics, it's crazy. Mark 11:24 says, whatever you ask for in prayer, believing that you have already received it, it will be yours. Scriptures like this never made sense to me. I mean, I believed it. It was my faith, but it did not make sense until I started understanding quantum physics. Holy cow. Science is helping me understand my faith even deeper. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Let me know if you have any questions about this. I would love to share more about the quantum field, about how it all works together. We are all connected. Everything is energy. We are all connected to each other. We are all connected. And love talking about this stuff. It feels really woo-woo, but I promise you, it's science. All right. We'll talk soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening today. I am truly honored that you've spent this time with me, and I hope you're walking away with something that brings you a little more peace, clarity, and hope. If you want to keep the conversation going, you can connect with me over on Instagram at Lemon Balm Coaching, or join our free Facebook community, Reignite Your Flame. It's where soul-tired women gather to find support, inspiration, and real tools for their journey. You'll also find information at lemonbalmcoaching.com. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and follow the podcast, leave a quick review, and share it with a friend who needs to hear the message. Every follow, review, and share helps more women discover that they were designed to thrive. Until next time, keep breathing, keep leaning into what matters, and keep choosing peace.